I meet sales professionals every day who are not maximizing their income and are leaving anywhere between $1 and maybe even $10 million on the table. Money that could be life-changing for them, their lifestyle, their family, their children. And I believe that the number one reason that this is the case is that you are not getting to the top 10% in your company, in your industry, in your region, or however you are segmented. And the reason why you're not getting there is that you just don't understand what separates the top 10% from the other 90. It's something that we don't really talk about. So today, I'm going to give you the tips, tricks, skills, and traits that top 10%ers are using to make sure that they, over their lifetime, get that additional $1, $3, or $5 million in income. It's very easy for me to separate the posers from the players during an interview process. I easily can identify a top 10%er beginning with this number one interview question that I ask. Here it goes. Tell me the 3 things that you do regularly that you believe if you do those 3 things consistently, no matter what job you're in, what company you work for, or what industry that you're selling into, will make sure that you're successful. And here's what top 10%ers say. They say, I begin each day at the gym. I have a spiritual practice. I go to church on Sundays. I make sure that I put my phone down for 2 hours each night so that I can be present with my kids. I make sure that instead of watching The Bachelor, I'm reading a business book. I listen to podcasts. I have a really tight circle. We meet regularly to hold each other accountable to our professional goals and achievements. Oh, and by the way, those top 10%ers, they actually write down their goals, whether they be short-term or long-term goals. And they put those Post-its on the mirror in the bathroom so that they see them every day. I want you to really think about what it would mean for you to earn an additional even $1 million over your lifetime. There are so many possibilities. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it absolutely buys opportunities. And if that's what you want, I want you to have all of the opportunities that are available to you and your loved ones so that you could take advantage of things tomorrow that you can't afford today. So I want you to ask yourself some of these hard questions. Are you a lifelong learner? Are you constantly reading or listening to Audible books, business books, sales books? Are you following sales influencers? Are you commenting on them on LinkedIn? Are you entering discussions with other top professionals? Are you listening to podcasts by those same professionals? There are so many amazing business and sales podcasts out there. Are you listening to 1 or 2 of those a week to get new ideas or see what the trends are in sales? Have you had formal professional sales training? The majority of candidates that I interview answer no to this question when asked. So then I say to you, well, here's what a top 10%er would do. A top 10%er would provide their own sales training, would go to a course, would take a LinkedIn learning course, would go get Sandler trained or Challenger trained or value-based selling trained. Why are you dependent on your company to provide you the things that you need? Does your sales leader or your company really invested in whether or not you earn an additional $5 million over your lifetime? Maybe, but probably not. What about taking care of your body? Are you getting 8 hours of sleep a night? Are you going to the gym or doing some sort of exercise or cardio 5 days a week? What about what you're putting in your body? Things like healthy whole foods versus processed foods. The mind-body connection is scientifically proven. The top professionals in every field care about their body. They're getting the right amount of sleep. The majority of Fortune 500 CEOs are working out almost daily, and they're doing it before they walk into the boardroom. People who exercise first thing in the morning are statistically more likely to stick with their exercise routine. Me personally, never been a morning exerciser. But I've been working out consistently since I was 14. I prefer to do it at the end of the day. I like to clear my head and use it as an opportunity to defrag and get set for my evening and wipe the work away. No matter what you decide to do, it's factually proven that top 10 percenters are taking care of their mind and their body. They are mentally, physically, and spiritually stronger than the rest of the other 90%. What about your circle? Who are those closest to you? Who's on the advisory committee, your personal or professional advisory committee? Are those people also as successful and ambitious as you are? Are they going places? One of my favorite quotes from Jim Rohn: "You'll be as successful as the 5 closest people to you." I truly believe this is the case. If you are the smartest person in the room, if you're the person that all of your friends come to for advice, it's probably time to change rooms. It's probably time to upgrade your circle. Sure, everybody has those friends that are great and fun to be around that you've known your whole life. Those are great friends. Keep those. But make sure that you've got people that are going places. People that you can turn to when you want to up-level your career and are thinking about making the next step change to get you to the next level. I want you to really evaluate the place that you're currently at today. Do you have the right boss? Is your sales leader someone who is advocating for you, is providing you professional and personal development, is actually making you not only a better salesperson, but a better person in general? What about your company? Do they care about the employees? Are they investing time, money, and resources to make sure that they have top 10 percenters in every department within their organization? Sure, it would be great if all your coworkers were top 10 percenters, but sales touches so many more departments. Is the marketing department filled with top 10 percenters? What about accounting? How about the operations team? If you don't have top 10 percenters in every department in your organization, then you're not working for a top 10 organization. So maybe it's time to evaluate. Maybe this isn't the right position for you. Maybe it's time for you to find a company who will invest in you so that you ensure that you don't leave any money on the table. We talk a lot about sales math. I do this drill all the time with sales professionals. How many deals do you need in your pipeline? In the SaaS world, we have a 20% close rate if we're lucky. So really only 1 in 5 deals are going to close. So I ask sales professionals all the time, do you understand how many deals you need in your pipeline? Do you know what your average sale is? Do you know what the average sales cycle is? Because we can back into all of those numbers. Well, we can do the same thing with what I call income math. With income math, if you're a top 10 percenter, you can ask for up to 30 or 40% more in base salary than those other 90 percenters. You can maybe negotiate a bigger variable or bonus on the variable compensation side of your deal. And oh, by the way, you're going to out-earn your coworkers and your competition just because you're going to be hitting quota. When statistics say recently that only 46% of sales professionals across the globe are hitting quota. If you're a top 10 percenter and you're hitting or exceeding quota, just by design, you're making more money than you would if you were a 90 percenter. Now, I'm not going to go into all the things that you should be doing with all this extra money that you're getting, investing, vacations, your children's education. There's so many things that you could do. But what I want you to do is have opportunities and have options that you might not have today. Now, here's the catch. You're going to have to make a commitment to do the things that others in the top 10% are doing that the majority of the 90% are just unwilling to do. You're going to need to potentially give up some of the things that aren't benefiting you today. Those might be people. This might be how you spend your downtime. It might be the companies that you're working for. It might be the sales leader that you report to. But nothing worth having, like $1, $3, or $5 million, is actually going to happen for you if you're not willing to say no to certain things. There's another top motto. The top executives across our country in any industry know that they have to say no more than they say yes. And like I said earlier, that means no to The Bachelor and yes to a sales book, or no to listening to XM radio and yes to listening to a podcast while in the car. It means no to that extra piece of pie and yes to a piece of apple. It means no to going to happy hour on Thursday night and yes to going to the gym. So the hard question that I want you to be asking yourself today, are you willing to do the hard work that others are unwilling to do so that you can be a top 10%er and someone who consistently hits the President's Club award?